Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Opinion Machine, the show where we talk about all things gaming. My name is Killjoy, and today we're going to be talking about Rayman Legends, specifically the Definitive Edition, the one version I have been playing. This is a game that is just the kind of sequel that you want from a game that you really liked. Now, you might have seen, recently I did a video on Rayman Origins, and I talked about that game coming out at a time on the Wii, where a lot of good 2D platforms were coming out. Donkey Kong Country Returns, Rayman Legends, we had the new Super Mario Brothers, Wario Land, Shake It, a ton of good 2D platformers, essentially. So, this game comes along during the Wii U era, and was originally meant to come out on the Wii U, and then got delayed because the Wii U wasn't doing great, and then came out eventually on everything. But despite the delay, this is a fantastic way of doing a sequel. Excuse me. There's more of what you wanted. So if you liked Rayman Origins, you're gonna love Rayman Legends, because what the game base essentially is that here's the next one in the line. Here's the improvements to things, big or small. Here's the content, all that good stuff. Now, the big thing, which you probably won't notice unless you have the game side by side, is how much the art style actually improved between Origins and Legends. And if you play through this game and hopefully see on the screen the footage, you'll see that the art style is a bit different, and they kind of used the new and improved version of the UB art. And it's if you get the Rayman Origins levels, and you also there happen to be some of those in Rayman Legends, and get side by side comparisons, you will see the changes and difference in lighting and art style and all these different things. It actually makes quite a big impact, and the game is beautiful. It's one of the best looking platformers that's ever been put out there, as in terms of I don't know if it's hand drawn or whether they are 3D sprites, because there are elements of this game that look 3D, but I don't know if it actually is. But ultimately, it's got a beautiful art style, and with the worlds in this game, you've got 5 worlds, I think it is. You have Teensies in Troubles, Toad Story. Toad Story is like a swamp level. Teensies in Trouble is like castle-y, all these castles and dungeons and things. You've got the food world, which is very similar. It's similar to the Gourmet Land. And then you've got Mount Olympus is the last one, and then 20,000 Lums Under the Sea, which is very spy influence in secret bases and stuff. The game does a really good job with really using those different environments. The first world itself, with all the castle stuff, just looks amazing. I think 20,000 Lums Under the Sea, that world where you're under the water, you're in these secret bases, there's pipes everywhere, looks really good as well. Foodland obviously looks good because it's got a mariachi vibe, you've got skulls, you've got kind of that Mexican stuff going on. Honestly, the art style is a huge improvement. Not to say Rayman Origins looks bad, because it doesn't, but Legends just looks so much better. And I think that really helps. I mean, it's obviously on the same engine, but obviously a newer one. So that's one of the biggest things with it. So this is what this game does: is it takes Origins and it improves on it. First off, like I said, the art style looks great. Gameplay wise, there's a lot of refinements to level design, I would say. It's not to say again that level design was necessarily bad in Rayman Origins. It's just the levels here are a bit more gimmicky. They're a bit more centered around certain things, and as you play through it and you get better at playing and handling the game, you kind of you get into a flow state with these levels. The one big difference is that you don't get any upgrades like you did in the first game. So in the first one you got to swim and run up walls and all that sort of stuff. You just naturally have that all here, which I think makes sense because you're doing the same process. You're not saving the fairies like you were in the first one, but you are using these skills, and this game is more difficult. I think it's more difficult anyway. I think some of the last few levels in Origins is pretty tough, but overall I think some of the levels here are significantly harder, especially towards the end of the worlds, and even some of the music levels can be a bit difficult, but that's not necessarily a bad thing. One thing that is, like I've just mentioned, music levels, that is a huge bonus to this game. The music levels, now you are going to see some on screen, and I do apologise that unfortunately my capture card is about a second behind in audio. I don't know what the issue is, I really need to fix it, so it's going to look really bad on my half. But the music levels are one of the coolest things, because you just run and jump to the music. There is a challenge there, but once you kind of just feel the beat, it helps that the castle version is Black Betty, which is quite a famous song. There's also Eye of the Tiger in this. I think there's one other famous track, and a couple of other random ones. And they're just fun. They are a fun distraction at the end of a world. It's hey, here's a shortish level, and then there's bonus versions of them later on. And they really add to that flavour, because most of the levels are either you playing as a character, you using Murphy, who I'll get to in a minute, who's helping you essentially do things, or you've got the boss and then the music levels. So you've got some variety to each world, and each level kind of, I'm pretty sure like there's later on there's like more puzzly levels as well. Like I haven't finished the game this time. I have completed it in the past. I haven't finished it at this time of recording. I've done about 4 of the 5 worlds, and you start to get a few more puzzly levels. There's a good mix of stuff, basically. The level designs feel good. There aren't any levels that necessarily feel to me that are like cheap. There are a couple of like bonus rooms that are a bit annoying, but other than that, like the actual game feels very tight, feels very well made. The design of the levels seems to work very well once you kind of figure out the gimmick, and each level pretty much has a gimmick. There's a level in this that references Ocean's 12, and this was great at the time when I played the game on Wii U, and I'm playing it again on Switch. So I bought the Switch version for about £6. This game goes on sale on Switch all the time digitally for like £6-7. This is like a hell of a content-rich game. But yeah, that reference to Ocean's 12 in there is amazing. I don't know why it's in there, but it's so good, and it's also one of the best levels in the game. So it's really cool seeing that. But yeah, this game is chock full of content. What's crazy about it is that you've got the 5 worlds plus the bonus world, and they made the decision to bring back levels from Rayman Origins in this, and that was a really cool idea. It's not every level, and certain elements are different, but you playing some of the Gibberish. So Gibberish Jungle was the first world in Origins. Replaying those levels in this feels really good as well. Obviously, there are tweaks and changes. These aren't the exact same. They are technically remixed a little bit, very minor things. But you are essentially getting 2 games in one with this, and it's the definitive edition, which comes. I don't know if Kung Fu was in the original one, or whether it's Kung Fu Tournament that got added, or what else. I actually don't know what else got added. Maybe some more skins and outfits. But you're getting a lot of content here in terms like this. To me, this is one of the best value platformers that you can buy, assuming you like how the game plays. Right? I think the game plays really, really well. I think the game has having those Origins levels and like essentially doubling. I mean, what was it, like 825 teensies or something you have to save over the course of all of it. So like, let's break it down. You've got all the normal worlds that you do with each of those levels. You've got the levels that unlock the barbarian ladies, all the sisters. So then you've got the music levels. Then you've got the bonus world, which I think is like all remixes of the music levels. Then you have like invaded levels. And then you've got a whole thing that's dedicated to playing as Murphy. So Murphy's the touchscreen guy. So you've got the whole Murphy's Challenge thing, which you have to play in docked mode on the Switch. Sorry, not docked mode. You have to play in handheld mode because it's all touchscreen based. Then you have Kung Fu Tournament. You unlock creatures that you can like gain lums from, and then you've also got Rayman Origins levels. It's an insane package and content, and like honestly, because it goes on sale so often, like this is the sort of game you want to get. Just pick this game up. It's so good, you know. There's also like the skins I mentioned as well. Like the content on that, you've got, being this on the Switch version, you've got access to the Mario and Luigi skin for Rayman and Glowbox, which to be fair look amazing. I think they're fantastic, but there are tons of skins. You can have Rayman dress up as like a Splinter Cell design and an Assassin's Creed design. You can have him dress up as Vass from Far Cry 3. There's a ton of unlockable skins and things. Like, there is a lot to do in this game, and if you're a completionist, there's even more to do. It's honestly crazy. You know, I haven't even 100%ed finding all the teensies and things like that in this game. I just go from level to level, just playing through it. But I'm just reminded as to what, you know, that Rayman Legends is just one of those games that's like an all-time classic to me. It's up there with things like, you know, if we're talking more modern 2D platformers, we've got Donkey Kong Tropical Freeze, Donkey Kong Country Returns, obviously Rayman Legends, Rayman Origins, Wario Land, Shake Dimension. These sort of first-party platformers that are like proper platform. I'm not talking like Metrovanias, I'm talking like proper platformers. You're not going to get much better than this, right? I think I would prefer Donkey Kong Tropical Freeze. I'd probably prefer Wario Land Shake Dimension, but that's not a knock on this game. It's just, you know, those are just my preferences of how those games play. This is still up there. This has got the 4-player co-op. It's 5-player if someone wants to play as Murphy. You've got all this stuff in it, and this game, it's hard to sit here and have any complaints with this game. There is a couple, which we'll go over in a second, but honestly, like, this game is just incredible. Just value for money, this is incredible, even at full price. If this is 40 quid, it's worth it. To me, this game, or 50 quid, it's worth it. Like, this game is just one of Ubisoft's best games in the last 10 years. Well, it might be slightly longer than that, it might be 11 years that when it came out. But honestly, just this game is so good. It's so good. But like I said, there are a few issues with it. The first thing is Murphy. So Murphy was designed, I think when this game was originally just for Wii U, Murphy was designed as the touchscreen character. Now the thing is it's on a touchscreen, obviously, and same with when you play it in handheld mode. You can use your finger, you can move Murphy wherever you're around. It's very easy to do that. When you have to control Murphy, normally you use the A button on a Switch controller, what would be the B button on other controllers, and you have to like run and jump like you would normally, and then hit the button when you want to activate him to do those things. Now, most of the time Murphy goes where it needs to be, but it's not quite as accurate as it could be, and it definitely feels weird when someone's not playing them. Like, it's one of those things where you can tell it's very much based on the Wii U. It's based on being based around that sort of console and whatnot, and yeah, it's not awful. It's not going to break the game or anything, but it is one of those things that I'm just like, yeah, you know, it's noticeable that you don't have access to that touchscreen when you're doing it. When you're playing as Murphy in handheld mode, it's a lot easier, and then the AI just takes over whoever you're playing as. So, it's something to be aware of. Let's just say that if somebody else is playing them, if they're playing multiplayer and they're playing them, it's probably fine. There are a couple of difficulty spikes in this game. Like, not every level is equal. I've not really struggled too much, but there are times where I'm like, that placement's a bit crap, or like that enemy's a bit jump. And this was the same with Origins. This isn't like, this is just what comes from, you know, trying to craft these levels and whatnot. You are going to get some bits that feel a bit off, but that can be a skill issue. That can just be, I prefer certain levels to others and whatnot. But just a few times where it's like, oh, is that a bit of a difficulty spike? I know the last world gets very hard, but obviously it should be because it's the last world. And then the other thing, and I forgot to mention this when I was talking about Rayman Origins, but I'm going to mention it here. Neither of these games has essentially iframes. If you get smacked, so in the same as the other one, you have a heart, you have Rayman, you have a heart as an extra hit. If you get smacked into spikes, it's not like you can go hit the spikes, take the damage, and then jump out. No, if you bounce into something else and take damage from it, you just insta-die. It is kind of a bit rubbish. I'm not sure why they made that decision. It's very easy to get comboed. If you get stuck in spikes or somewhere you're not to be, but bump and you're dead, basically. You can use, I mean, technically there are iframes, because you can usually take 2 very quick attacks and still survive. But what I mean is that a lot of the time you will just keep bouncing on or getting hit by whatever's damaging you, and you don't flash or do anything to show that you've got iframes. And yeah, occasionally you'll just get hit by something and get stuck or get whacked twice and you're dead, and it's just like, it feels a bit pooey. But it's not the end of the world, and it's very few and far between when it happens. It's usually if you get caught on something by accident, it will just make a bad jump. But it does feel very weird. Like most other games, they give you a little bit of iframes. They visually show you that you've got iframes and you can get out of the way of whatever it is. Like if you take Donkey Kong Country 2 or any of the Donkey Kong Country games, you get hit, your Kong starts flashing, the other one runs away. You've got a bit of time to get off of it, but this game doesn't, and the last one doesn't seem to do it. There's not much else I've really got to say about Rayman Legends other than this is just a fantastic game. It's one of the best things Ubisoft has ever made, you know, and recently they did Prince of Persia, which is another platformer game, and that game's great. Obviously, Metroidvania rather than a standard platformer. But it does mean to me, like, you know, it's so... I would love to see, again, another resurgence for Rayman. I would just love to get another sequel to these games. Like, I know some people love the original, and I know some people love the 3D games, but Rayman Origins and Legends to me are the 2 best Rayman games that exist. Like, you know, and that's debatable. I'm not going to say that other people are wrong. The first game is very good. The second game is very good. But I think these, because it's the side-scroller type platformers, I think the ideas in this game are very good. I think the gimmicks in this game are very good. And the insane amount of content just makes this game, like, if you don't own this game and you like platformers, go and buy it. Go and buy Origins as well. You can get them on Steam. You can get them on pretty much most consoles. I would recommend, if you've got a Wii U, get it on that if you can find it cheap. Just because I think if you want to play it multiplayer anyway, it's better. But ultimately, like I said about Origins, what I'm saying about this, these are 2 of the best games you're going to get in terms of modern day 2D platformers. I can't recommend them enough. They are awesome. If you don't want to pay full price for a platformer, these games go on sale so often. And Legends is just everything that Origins did that I loved. Legends just does a little bit better. This is a very good sequel. It's more of the same with the right sort of tweaks, the right sort of interesting things. There's a good sense of humour. You know, all that stuff is contained into a wonderful package. So there you go. There's my thoughts on Rayman Legends. Love the game. Enjoying playing through it again as well. It's been an absolute blast. Anyway, that's going to do it for me today then, guys. Thank you very much for watching. As always, if you like the video, hit like. If you want to see more content like this, then hit subscribe. Links for Facebook and Twitter will be down below in the description, as always. And until next video, I will see you then.